What's on my head, Dan?
A hat.
Oh, thanks.
That would be something that back in the 1800s you'd have to, wear as you're walking around town, wherever you're going. That would have been the proper thing to do. Helps in the summertime, keeps the sun off you. But everybody would have been wearing hats.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dan.
Farmers, brewers, hunters, packers, badgers, cheeseheads, neighbors. No matter what name we go by, we are bound together by our roots. These are the people, the stories, and the patriotism from inside Wisconsin. Welcome to Deeper Roots with Blain's Farm and Fleet.
We are at Old World, Wisconsin in Eagle, Wisconsin. That would make sense, right? Old World, Wisconsin in Wisconsin. Dan Hess, our guy that's going to teach us so much about the deep roots of Wisconsin. Another episode of Deeper Roots with our friends at Blain's Farm and Fleet. Dan, I love country living, and I live in the city. So I feel like you're going to teach me a thing or two today about how Wisconsin used to live, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've, here at Old World, Wisconsin, we've got over 60 historic buildings from all over the state of Wisconsin, actually, and over 600 acres here. So we've got our village here that we're in today, right now, but then we've also got numerous farms all across the site here, too.
Your gig here is teacher, but also blacksmith, which we're going to learn about in a little while. You do some leather work. I love that, like you make your own clothes. What's your story here?
So I'm actually the Living History Program coordinator here. So I coordinate our historic trades, our historic crafts, our historic foodways and cooking, as well as our interpretation of agriculture here in Wisconsin, which is a lot of stuff. But it's kind of what a lot of the big things that people would have been doing back in the 1800s.
There's got to be something specific where you go, if there was one thing that I hope you take away from us coming here and telling this story and learning about just the 30,000 foot view of the deep roots. Yeah. What do you want my kids to know?
Old World, Wisconsin itself, we're extremely hands-on. So we're not just here to be talking at people about it. We're here handing you something to try it out here and not just learn by watching or hearing, but to learn by doing.
Why is that important?
You understand it better, I think. You can hear something and, oh, that's a cool fact. But to say, yeah, I tried cutting that hay down with the scythe and it was not easy. That's a different understanding than just hearing about it.
So we're transitioning from this beautifully warm wood-fired building to, are those buildings heated where we're headed, Dan?
Not right now, but they would have been heated in the same way as this is.
Don't you have to have heat to blacksmith?
So yeah, we'll be lighting our forge up. It takes a few minutes to get it up to temperature, but that forge gets over 3,000 degrees. So we're burning wood in here, we'll be burning something else once we get over to the blacksmith shop.
So at Old World, Wisconsin, this is one of the trades that you man, if you will. And today I asked, we are making hooks.
Yeah.
And what were the hooks used for?
So you could use a hook in your smokehouse. So, to hang your meat to smoke it in there. You could use it to put up on your wall to hang whatever you needed to in the kitchen or wherever else. So they're a nice, relatively simple thing that kind of gives you a good idea of some of the skills that a blacksmith would have needed to know.
I doubt I'm reaching my hand in there, just a guess. So take us through the process.
So, we got a pair of tongs, we got a hammer, we got our anvil. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this piece of steel out into a point. So, that's probably
I wouldn't touch that.
No, don't touch it.
Full disclosure, I don't even know what blacksmithing is. What do you do when you blacksmith?
So it's metalwork. So back in the 1800s, most of what blacksmithing would have been doing, it's kind of like a car mechanic today. So they would have been making horseshoes, and they actually would be doing metalwork, but also had to know horses and animals. They'd had to work, trim their feet, put those shoes on, but they're also repairing farm equipment, repairing wagons. They have to be able to do a little bit of woodworking too. So there's a lot of different things, but blacksmithing is really kind of the basis for a lot of our trades today. Put a curl on it. So now I'm gonna actually lean it up against my thigh there, and it just curls right up for us.
Wow.
I'm going to cool the tip of it off there so I can hammer on it. It's still hot, right? Now I'm going to hammer. So there's our hook.
Wow. I'm going to go on a limb and say that mine's not going to look like that. Let's give her a shot. I have done a thing or two on this show. Never anything with 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit attached to it. So slightly sweaty palms, but I think we can do her.
So then you're going to want to put it right on the edge there. Yep. And hammer down. Now turn it.
I'm going crooked already.
Yep, that's okay.
We've lost our orange.
That's okay. That means it's too cold and you got to heat it up again. So first thing to remember when you're learning how to do this, in order to heat it up, you need to crank the blower.
Crank the blower.
Yep. That's probably hot enough.
Ooh, is that yellow?
That's getting close.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Yep. Looking good. Honestly, for most folks, the most difficult thing to learn at the beginning is being able to put the hammer where you want it.
Yep, that was great timing for that.
That's good. All right, so we'll heat it up again, and then we'll put the curl on it, and we'll put a hook on it. So now you're gonna hammer right over that edge a little bit. Good, all right. Now you're gonna turn it over. You're gonna kind of brace it up against your leg and hammer back toward yourself. Looking good. And it's cooling off, so I think we're gonna heat it up one more time. So first thing, you're gonna cool just the very tip of it off so you can hammer on it. Just a little bit more. That's good. Now you're gonna turn it over. Now hammer straight down at it. And then we're gonna feed it through. Now pause a second. You're gonna hammer right there, just over the edge. Yep. Keep feeding it through. And we'll flip it over like that. Go ahead and hold on. Yep. Hammer kind of straight down. Pause for a second. Hammer straight down. Look at that.
Is that okay?
That's great. For the first time, it's fabulous.
Ha! Now
You go for it.
and then, sweet, look at that. All right, let's go try to make some leather. We're making leather? No, yeah?
We're making things with leather.
So the leather's already made.
Leather's already made.
We're just gonna go make something.
Yep.
What are we making?
We're gonna make one of our Christmas ornaments, actually.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, and at the time of this taping, not so white outside. No. Yet, Old World Wisconsin does an incredible job of bringing that holiday to life here. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we've got our Home for the Holidays event going on last weekend and this coming weekend. But it is a Christmas event, but also talking about a lot of the other different holidays, whether that's Hanukkah or St. Nicholas Day, or we talk about New Year's and how people in the 1800s would have celebrated all of these different holidays. So you can come and partake in those things. We've got wagon rides. You can shop here in the general store with our time travel tokens, actually, and all kinds of different fun, festive things. One of the things that guests can come and make is actually a ornament that they can take home. This is the stamp that we have for Home for the Holidays. So we get these made for us. What guests can come and do is take their hammer, and I'm gonna hand that to you so I don't have to hold it. And then wherever you want to on there, you can try to do it in like 2 or 3 hits.
Holy loud. Why? Why so violent?
And then we've got some other shapes and things like that. So
A Christmas tree, that's a reindeer. Let's do it, and that's a buck. This is really fun.
yeah.
I haven't whacked a finger yet. That's probably why it's so fun. As you teach here, whether it's leather making or blacksmithing or any of the other talks that you do, now is the good time to say, what do you hope the takeaway is for these people that are learning from you?
I hope they take away that history isn't just dates and famous people, that they learn more about the stories of the everyday people here in Wisconsin.
You do a great job of painting the picture and making sure that we don't take for granted, I think, what we have. The roots are what got us here, and if we forget about them, then it's unfortunately what's going to get us back there. Mm-hmm. So thanks for the work that you do and for the education that you provide and for the roots that you're establishing, not only here at Old World Wisconsin, but in the state, and I hope somebody is a protege of yours so that whenever 30 years from now you're done doing this, somebody else can pick up where you left off. It's called an apprenticeship. Dan, I'll tell you about that someday.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. We actually have our own brewery here on site that we brew like they did back in the 1800s as well.
Today.
It's pretty cold in there today.
Is the beer cold in there today?
I'm sure it is.
Well, then screw the leather making and whatever else we're doing. Let's go there. Your point is much pointier.
I've done a few thousand of them,
Yeah.
so.
I got to take something home to them and be like, get your stuff together, put your Xbox down, and let's go cut some hay with a knife.
It doesn't get much deeper rooted Wisconsin than that. Blacksmithing, leatherworking, all the things. We're grateful for Dan and everyone over at Old World Wisconsin for making this episode possible. If you've never visited Old World Wisconsin, get on it. Maybe you haven't been there since your school field trip days. Make your way back. They've got seasonal programs, events, and I hear there's Old World beer coming in the spring. Consider me there. Plan your visit at oldworldwisconsin.wisconsinhistory.org. If you know a deep-rooted story that you'd like us to share, make sure to head to the website farmandfleet.com/deeperroots and fill out the form. We'd love to hear from you and share your story in 2025. As always, on the YouTube channel, like us, subscribe, and let us know what you loved about the episode in the comments below. And if you're a podcaster, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate that. All right, Wisconsin, that's a wrap on Deeper Roots for 2024. We will see you next year.
Talk to you later. Bye.